The talk of western Kansas is about a sinkhole near the town of Sharon Springs, and what a sinkhole it is. It's been developing over the last few days and measures 200 feet across and 90 feet deep.
People are amazed at the size of this hole that seemed to show up overnight.
How can this happen? What happened to what was below?
A few days ago, the earth opened up and left this giant sinkhole right in the middle of Dalton Haas's pasture.
The local sheriff said it looked like an act of God, adding there are no oil or irrigation wells around the area. It also appears to still be growing.
Researchers have a mystery on their hands after more dolphins started washing ashore along the East Coast.
They're mainly bottlenose dolphins, and they are different ages and sizes. Virginia has seen the biggest spike this summer. 42 dolphins died in July, compared to 10 in July 2011 and 2012 combined.
At least 100 this year alone in Virginia. And it's happening in other places too, like New Jersey.
Experts don't know exactly what's causing it yet, but it could be a number of things, including a virus.
The damage bill from the freak tornado that devastated the southeast town of Kingston yesterday will run into the hundreds of thousands of dollars. As the massive cleanup continued today, locals recounted stories of terror and near misses.
Hell. As the tornado tore a path through town, Callum Page ran to check on his neighbours. Moments earlier, he'd watched in horror as the roof was ripped from their house. 42 homes were damaged, 4 have been left uninhabitable.
Dangerous rounds of flooding in the middle of the country. In Wichita, Kansas, streets turned to rivers, submerging cars, swamping their engines.
Submerged on a Sunday, more than 7 inches of rain filling backyards, enveloping cars in some parts of central Kansas. Cars and people bobbing in the flooded streets near Wichita. A reported tornado causing a truck to flip, a roof to rip. And look at those mounds of white. That is hail, plowable hail in Windsor, Colorado.
Flash floods have left more than 160 people dead and stranded, and even more without food or shelter in Pakistan and Afghanistan, in one of South Asia's most destructive natural disasters of the year.
This car was carrying a man, woman and child when flash floods hit the city of Karachi in southern Pakistan. All are thought to have died.
80 people across Pakistan who've lost their lives in floods caused by unusually heavy monsoon rain.
Some neighbourhoods were submerged waist deep in water. Houses collapsed, sewage overflowed, scores of people were electrocuted or drowned. And the heavy rains didn't spare the rest of the country. There's been flooding in the north and west, particularly the city of Peshawar. In neighbouring Afghanistan, 5 provinces have been badly hit.
And in one town alone, Dera Ismail Khan, we've had reports of 300 houses being swept away. So a lot of trouble already being caused by these monsoon rains.
Floods caused by incessant rainfall in the Shantrapur district of Maharashtra state in West India have killed 20 people and displaced more than 8,000 others.
Triggered by continuous rainfall, the floods have wreaked havoc in more than 800 villages, submerging 1,200 hectares of land. Various roads were inundated by flood waters, disrupting transport and communication.
11 irrigation projects have been disrupted and roads have been inundated with floodwater. India experiences monsoons from June to September, a vital time for agriculture. However, experts believe decades of mass deforestation has meant water levels are far higher than normal, resulting in destructive floods.
This dead bird is the only casualty we could find this afternoon, but this neighborhood was filled with them starting early this morning. One resident told me it was like a blitzkrieg of birds. They were on vehicles, coming up to business doors. And then, people tell us, they started dropping from the skies.
Summer has taken a pause in some parts of Europe, and in have come the storms. In the Loire region of France, hailstones, many the size of tennis balls, pounded the town of Chandieu, shattering the tiles and roofs and breaking car windows. Electricity was off, and residents battled to cover their damaged homes to prevent further problems with rain forecast. Many froze the evidence. In the north of France, in the Rouen, torrential rain driven by high winds caused chaos for motorists, with articulated lorries vulnerable in the storm. Flash floods covered many roads. In Saxony in East Germany, on one motorway, a special crane had to be brought in to lift a truck blown over in the high winds. Thunderstorms and heavy rain were the main culprits, leaving thousands of travellers stranded at railway stations, with trains cancelled or delayed. Frankfurt Airport was closed for a time. Falling branches were reported to have caused several injuries. In the eastern Amur region of Russia, a state of emergency has been declared after 300 homes were flooded. Around 1,500 people have been evacuated because of the rising water. We bought a house 2 months ago, repaired some of it, and now everything is underwater. And summer could be on hold for a while longer, with forecasters predicting more rain.
The government has declared a state of emergency in 5 regions in Russia's Far East. The Amur region has been hit the hardest. About 1,200 people have been evacuated and 32 residential areas inundated.
And the Los Angeles Times says the sun's magnetic field is about to flip. The effect will be felt throughout the solar system, including Earth.
They say the sun's magnetic fields weaken completely, then re-emerge with opposite polarity. So what does this mean for us on Earth? 2 words: cosmic rays. Some researchers say the rays might affect the cloudiness and climate on Earth.
Japan's government says the Fukushima plant has been leaking contaminated water for the last 2 years since being destroyed by a tsunami. A Japanese official told reporters the nuclear facility was releasing up to 300 tons of contaminated groundwater per day into the Pacific Ocean. Prime Minister Shinzo Abe promised to increase the government's efforts and ensure the plant's operator, TEPCO, deals with the €8 billion cost.
It is nothing more than a muddy mess tonight. Something happened last night that caused all of the water to drain out of the pond. The people who live there now have a mess on their hands, a smelly mess at that.
Yes, well, the Morlock family says lightning hit their SUV's antenna, knocking out the electrical system and blowing out 3 tires.
And the rain had been coming down all day when Taylor wished for something he couldn't take back.
Says he could feel the hair on the back of his neck stand up and said that is the last time he will wish for something like that.
Waters are rising and the map says it all. Now more than half the country under threat of flood.
Days and days of torrential rains that have left neighborhoods cut off, cars swept away, and have led to evacuations and some dramatic rescues. It's happening across the nation's midsection, and it has left scores of communities awash in misery. The rain totals have been astounding, in some places 10 inches in a single night, destroying homes, businesses, and turning some streets into raging rapids. And tonight there have been more deaths.
Underwater again. The latest flash flooding fatal in Oklahoma. Too much rain too fast, swamping this Walmart in Cortland, New York. Look at the store before and the image tweeted by the Weather Service after. More than 5 inches of rain falling in just hours.
This is what just an hour's worth of heavy rain can do. Flash floods taking out a string of cars on Highway 24 near Colorado Springs. From the mountain west to the east coast and on to the south, severe storms over the past few days have led to at least 3 deaths and hundreds homeless.
Parts of Japan are underwater as torrential rains wreak havoc. Floods and landslides have been triggered by some of the worst downpours on record.
The Japan Meteorological Agency told residents in the region to take immediate action to protect their lives after nearly double the monthly average of rain fell in a matter of hours. Train services have also been suspended.
These shocking aerials show the deadly flooding that's killed at least 5 people.
Well, at least 6 people are dead after a volcano erupted on a tiny island in Indonesia.
Mount Rokatenda on Palu Island gushed hot lava and spewed ash and smoke more than 6,500 feet into the air. Nearly 3,000 people were evacuated from the beach village after the eruption. According to the National Disaster Mitigation Agency, the